Hi everyone, Scottiplier PopCultFan here, and I am going to do my full season review of Grosse Pointe Garden Society. Now that the season finale dropped tonight, I just watched the season finale, and I'm ready to give my full review of the season. And this has been an interesting ride, to say the least. It's not necessarily for me. I'm gonna say that right now. It's not really for me, this show. I mean, if it was just the murder mystery, if it was just that, I think I'd be more accepting of this show, if I'm being honest. Because I've mentioned this before. I'm not at a point in my life where I'm married, so I'm just not, that kind of storytelling in movies and TV shows just doesn't grab my attention in regards to like marriages and like romance. It's just not really my kind of a thing. If, like I said, if it was just a murder mystery, I'd be more okay with it. But alas, one of the biggest compliments I do have for this show is I like the production, I like the cinematography, I like the cast. Everyone in the cast is really well performed in their roles, especially I think Ben Rappaport. I think he's a really great presence in this series. And when I was watching the finale, I just thought of something. If they ever cast Bruce Wayne in the new DCU, I could see Ben Rappaport as Bruce Wayne Batman. That'd be interesting casting. But anyway, I think like Anna Sophia Robb, she definitely feels like the focal character that you're mostly following. A lot of the drama in the show kind of surrounds her in a way, even though, I mean, there's drama with the other characters too, but it feels like a lot of the bigger emotional kind of drama that you get in this season just revolves around Alice's character a lot, and as a result of that, she just feels like the prominent lead character of the show. And especially considering the fact that she narrates the pilot episode as well as this finale. And I've mentioned this in my previous videos. There's like, as this show has been airing, certain things that have been happening like in my life that kind of feels oddly reflective of some of the things that happen in Alice's life in this show, which kind of felt kind of strange, and it felt like I was messing with my mind a little as I was watching it. And also, as I've mentioned before, that when I did my very first video talking about this show on my channel, someone commented on my video claiming to be Ben Rappaport's aunt. I don't know for sure if it was really her or not. I have no way of knowing, but it was a nice comment that she left me. And also, I mentioned this before in regards to one of the producers of this series, Lois Melito. He produced Superman and Lois as well as the Gotham TV show, and I've met actors from both of those shows at that fan expo last November. Karen Monahan as well as Elizabeth Tulloch. Both of those actors were on Gotham and Superman and Lois. Lois Melito produced those shows and produced this with Anna Sophia Robb starring in it. So kind of an odd thing. But anyway, I think the whole murder mystery aspect of this series I do like, but at the same time they're juggling around the time a lot. And like beginning of the season, it was like 6 months before, 6 months after, and then the time started to keep going, but still kept juggling around with flashbacks and things like that. And as a result of them juggling around different aspects of timelines within events of characters and what goes on with some characters, it's just a little hard to follow as a result of that. But that I know why it's there. I do. It's there to kind of keep you guessing, and I do like that about it. But at the same time, it just kind of makes the pacing a little bit off in several episodes, and I like the mystery. I do. I think the kind of mystery that they're telling here is fascinating, and when they finally get to the big reveal in like the 11th episode, it wasn't exactly a murder. But anyway, other than that, um, in this in the finale, I think what they do in the finale kind of, I wasn't expecting it, but at the same time, if there were any of the four characters that would try to make things right, I figured it would be Alice's character. If there was any character that wanted to lift the regret off their shoulders, it would be Alice, right? Honestly, Rob's character, because she wants to not. Anyway, I think this is a good show for the most part. I just think that it's not for somebody like me. It's just not for somebody like me. I'm not exactly sure what the demographic is exactly for the show, but I think if you're somebody that, I think like a parent or someone that is married would appreciate this show more. I'm not a parent and I'm not married. And also, I like the cast. I do. That's my biggest compliment about it. And Birdie's character, if there's anything that can compare this show to, like, as you guys know that have followed my channel for a while, I love horror. If there's anything I compare this show to, I mentioned this before, there's aspects of this show that makes me think of Bates Motel, which is funny because of Freddie Highmore playing Norman Bates on Bates Motel, and also I Know What You Did Last Summer. Those movies, the kind of same kind of energy with these four characters that you're following here in Grosse Pointe, and I think the overall story is intriguing, is fascinating. I just think that one character that I've mentioned before that I was least invested in was Catherine's character, and I did feel that for the most part. Even towards the end, I still felt that she was the character I was least invested in, even in the finale. But I also think that this show could do better in the future if it does get another season. TBD, by the way. I don't know as of now, as of this recording, TBD for potential season 2. I mean, NBC was canceling a lot of shows, and for some odd reason, this show is still, they haven't done anything with the show yet, whether it's going to get renewed or not. And honestly, I mean, if it does get a potential second season, it might be exclusive to Peacock, maybe. And yeah, that might be the most realistic thing that does happen. That if the NBC doesn't pick it up for a second season, Peacock might keep the show going as an exclusive show to that streaming service. So, and what I had to say about that is, if the show gets a second season, if it does, I would want it to not juggle around time so much anymore and just focus on the present time that was, in the former half of the season, like the present time after the murder. I would want the show to pick up from there, and not just continue juggling around the time. I feel like they don't need to keep doing that as the show continues, if it does. And also, I kind of want them to kind of focus a little bit more on the murder drama of things and less on the marital drama of things. I mean, personally, that's what I would do or what I would want for a second season, but I doubt it. Anyway, I think if I had to give this series a grade, it's kind of hard because admittedly, there have been times that throughout the season surrounding Alice's character, there have been moments where, like, I've teared up a couple times. There's been moments, even in the finale tonight, in which there's moments where it reminds me of things that I'm going through. It reminds me of things that I'm going through and things that I relate to. And that's, like I said, surrounding Alice's character, Onosegaro's character. And she's the character I relate to the most on this show. And I do like the show for that in a way, but at the same time, it just feels very surreal for me as a result. But it's an okay show. It's not my favorite show that I've seen this year. It's not. I can't say that with a straight face. But it's enjoyable. It's enjoyable. Not all the humor works for me. That's another thing. Not all the humor works for me. And hopefully they can kind of balance that a little bit more. Like I said, if the show does get a second season, hopefully they can balance the humor and drama a little bit better going forward if it gets another season. But I doubt it. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know. Part of me doesn't really want the show to get a second season, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So if I had to give Grosse Pointe Garden Society a grade, I think I'd give it... I guess I'd give it like a solid B grade. I think that'd be my grade for it. It's not, like I said, it's not my favorite show that I've seen this year. It's not. But it's okay. And also, in regards to the whole murder mystery of things, if you like that kind of a thing, I think that you might enjoy it. But at the same time, if you're someone who's like me, who's single and not married or a parent, then this probably isn't for you. I don't really know the demographic of the show. But yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about here. That's all I can really think about at the moment. So yeah, B grade for me for Grosse Pointe Garden Society. TBD for season 2. Who knows? Part of me kind of doesn't want the show to get a second season, just mainly because I need a break talking about Onosegaru on my channel. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.